Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the magnesium factor and why it's so important to you. But also, a lot of times you don't want to just concentrate on only taking one thing. Now, this supplement is okay. One thing I think is a little bit, you really don't need the calcium. You just would take, because we have a lot of calcium in our diet, and you really just would need the magnesium and zinc. But one of the things I'm pointing out about this is that you want to take a combination, because then it becomes too many different things to take at once, and it becomes more of a chore. So ideally, you would like to find a supplement that has magnesium, zinc, and boron. Now, one of the reasons we have a lot of calcium in our diet versus magnesium is that when food is processed, the calcium is not destroyed easily at all, while the magnesium is. And if you look at the ancient paleo diet, well, the diet of the humankind maybe back 10,000 years or more in the past, or maybe 50,000 years or more, the ratio to magnesium to calcium was 1-to-1, or calcium to magnesium was 1-to-1. And today, the modern diet, the ratio of calcium to magnesium is about 10 to 15-to-1. We have about 10 to 15 times as much calcium as we need in ratio to magnesium. And what happens is that magnesium is something whereby it regulates how the calcium is being used. So if you have not enough magnesium and you have too much calcium, it's not the only factor. There's other things like vitamin D and K2. But if you have too much calcium, you get calcification of the brain, the pineal gland, which is also your consciousness, and the kidneys, the bladder, the arteries, veins, and heart, that type of thing. So it really becomes a big problem. But boron works with the calcium and magnesium and zinc because it helps to stop the depletion of especially magnesium from the body. If you're taking enough magnesium but your body happens to be excreting it more quickly, the boron could keep the magnesium in the body longer. And also the boron is also known for males taking larger doses of boron will raise the free testosterone in the bloodstream, which has a lot to do with your toxic male masculinity, if you want to call it that, the new term, right? So if you want to raise your toxic male masculinity, just take more boron. You'll have more free testosterone in your blood system. That's a good thing, right? So, it's like if you can find a supplement that has magnesium, zinc, and boron together, that would be really ideal because we do have a lot of calcium in the diet. Also, zinc works all together with these things too. And zinc is usually another thing that is acutely short within the standard American diet. Usually males need more zinc, and also zinc is also useful in, as far as like fighting colds and stuff like that. Like in other words, that like a lot of times people would take, in the wintertime, they would take echinacea and zinc to help boost their immune system or help fight off colds and things like that. But zinc has a lot of vital functions, but the thing is they all work together. It's like, if you say one thing, it's like, it's not, there's no such thing as this is the magic supplement. Everything, it works together synergistically, but sometimes there are certain things in the American diet that are short supply. And three of those things are magnesium, zinc, and boron. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when people just took boron only, they alleviated a lot of pain in their joints and things like that because it helps keep whatever magnesium, calcium, and zinc that you take in your body, it keeps it in the body. It helps. In other words, you could be, they think they tested, was it rats with restricted calcium diet, and they gave them boron. Well, like it wasn't totally restricted with calcium, but they gave them boron, and the rats that had the boron with less calcium actually had stronger bones. That's because the boron is actually helping whatever calcium and magnesium that you have in your body to work and stay in the body and do its job, but rather than being excreted. And again, I want to repeat that again with the free testosterone, raise your toxic male masculinity with boron. I don't want to say what the dosage is because, I don't know if they'll like that if I tell, but actually it would be a few of these pills a day. It wouldn't be just one. It's like 3 milligrams. And this is chelated, which is good. This has 2 kinds of magnesium in it, that's good. But you know what I don't like about this particular supplement, though, to be honest, is that I would like to see the ratio of calcium to magnesium 1-to-1 versus like 2.5-to-1. But still, you know what happens is if you have too much calcium in your body tends to excrete more calcium when you take it in. And if you have not enough magnesium, your body absorbs it better. You know, ideally the ratio should be about 1-to-1, or maybe even 2 or 3-to-1. The thing is, our ratio from calcium to magnesium is so skewed, it's like 10 or 15-to-1. And again, I know I said this before, but that's due to the processing of foods. Modern processing of foods will not knock out the calcium much, but it will deplete the magnesium. And this magnesium also has a lot to do with your electrical impulses in your body, whereby it helps to raise the ATP, which is your energy pump for your cells. So, and it could also, a lot of times, a magnesium shortage could cause problems with the heart, whereby there's irregular heartbeats, and really that's because there's something to do with the magnesium and electrical impulses in the body. The body is actually it's a chemical electrical machine. People don't, you know, I don't care what expert they are, they really don't understand 100% what the body is. Also going to put a little, but you know, the boron all works with this. And if you're short on the magnesium and calcium, if you take the boron, whatever magnesium, zinc, and calcium you have, the boron will help use it more efficiently. Also, I'm going to put out something a little bit later, again, about this Parazapper, because, you start thinking about, I know we don't think about it in an everyday practical world, but, like you look at an object like this Zapper, right? It's solid. You look at this supplement pill, it's solid, right? In reality, all these solid objects are nothing but a bunch of atoms with electrons flowing around them. I think Nikola Tesla really was more on that wavelength. I'm not, okay? I mean, I realize that fact, but I don't think about it every day in the real world. But a lot of times when you add certain types of minerals and supplements, it's electrical energy to the body. That's really why it's working. I mean, that's kind of like a broad statement. It sounds cute, but in reality, that's, I don't want to make it sound like, because I hear a lot of these things, oh, yeah, but, what really works? That's really what I get down to, is in the practical world, what really works. In a really practical world, we are, in our standard American diet, we are really short on magnesium, zinc, and boron. Good, that's why it's a great supplement to take if you can find 3 of those together. But what I'm talking about also is that a lot of times these, like the magnesium, I found out, it has a lot to do with the electrical energy, the electrical impulses in the heart. Like if a shortage on magnesium, besides even causing, it actually has problems with electrical impulses in the brain. You get anxiety, depression, all these weird, minor psychological disorders, even anger from not having enough magnesium. And I think a lot of that anger is actually from just having anxiety, or something. But when you start thinking about, you got supplements like this, which are like material. Then you have electrical devices like this, which is positive offset, which I think, according to Hulda Clark's stuff, her statements, and what I've been testing over this thing a number of years, this seems to bring energy into the body by using an electron donor. But you start thinking about it, the body itself, like you see the hand here, right? The body itself is, it's made up of atoms. Like if you took all the space away from the entire solar system, the space between the electrons flowing around the atoms, you took it all away, like the entire solar system would like fit in the size of a thimble or something like that. It's like everything is like not even real in a way, It almost like, if you think about this, it almost goes along with the religious concepts of the spiritual world and the material world, I don't, I'm not really having the answers here all the way, but it's almost like these things do have effect. And, sometimes you're thinking, well, how does a little pill like this have effect? Or how does a little zapper like this have an effect? Well, maybe you start thinking about it, we're like electrical light beings or something. We're just a bunch of swirling atoms, you know, and it's like sometimes you add an electrical supplement, like magnesium would be that, or you use an electrical device like this to add, which I see, you know, the positive offset seems to add, well, according to Holder Clark, but also according to my testing on the Thunderbolt body tester, which tests your body's electrical power. This thing seems to do something too, along with its supplements. But if you could find a supplement that has magnesium, zinc, and boron together, that would simplify things greatly and also being chelated. And also, if on the back of it had like 2 or 3 different types of magnesium, because some are more absorbable than others, you know, that would be ideal. I don't know if anybody sells one. I mean, you know, this is what I got, okay? But I know enough to take it. And I do have very good energy. I can tell you that right now. So, you know, for somebody that's basically a senior citizen, oh, you know, I don't feel like one. I'm like, God, I feel like I'm in my 20s or something. You know what I mean? I feel very mentally alert, strong, constantly juggling 5 projects at once all the time, and I'm busy as all hell. So, you know, I think I'm doing something right, that's for sure. So today I'll be getting out here on my motorcycle here in a few hours and taking a ride too. You know, not too many people do that in their 60s. You know, anyway, over and out.